Good morning everyone, it's Lance here, once again, best day ever mountain biking, and I've got something a bit different for you today. You may be thinking, what's with the outfit? Well, do you remember a time before Facebook, before Instagram, even before Enduro, there used to be this thing where people would go out on mountain bike races and they would get timed climbing hills as well as going downhill. Seems crazy, I know, but it's true. It's called cross country or XC to be cool, and people still do it. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do a cross country race. Of course, I'm not going to ride a normal bike. I'm not stupid. I'm going to ride the e-bike. I'm very interested to see how this is going to work on a cross-country race with e-bikes and non-e-bikes. I guess we'll find out when we get there. So anyway, come join me. Well, the good news is I'm not going to be the only one in the e-bike category because my good mate Kev has joined me. Here he is on his moustache. The bit that does concern me a little bit though is that his wife did ring me and said that if he crashes again, he has to stay with me until he's fully recuperated. So please, Kev, take it easy. Nice, mate. I really like it. I've got something like I wear it just the same at home. So you may be thinking, Lance, what happened to the outfit you were wearing? Did you chicken out? Well, pretty much, yes. My wife said I looked like a giant baby, and I must admit, skin-tight clothing with my physique did look pretty bad. So decided to go back for more enduro-style outfit. Saying that, there were a lot of lycra-clad guys around who seemed to have the physique for it.
How's it going?
Now, the open men started off 2 minutes before Kev and me on the e-bikes. But it didn't take us too long to wind them in. There was a fair bit of gravel road climbing, and it was amazing how you just wound them in on the e-bike.
On your left.
I did wonder how this was going to work, whether there was going to be an issue with the e-bike charging around, overtaking people who are on the normal bike. I didn't actually overtake anyone downhill. I don't know if that was just a timing thing or they were just fast downhill and I didn't catch them. The good news is nobody caught me either, and I did all of my overtaking, and quite a lot of overtaking, on the uphill sections. It's quite cool actually. Part of it you felt a little bit guilty because you were these people, every time I overtook someone and said, "How are you doing?" their reply was generally hot, and here is me just flying past them on the e-bike. On the other hand, I felt like Nino Schurter. It was so cool. You just felt like you were this elite, supreme athlete just charging around the course. I pretty much reckon my heart rate stayed about the same the whole time. I actually did put in a pretty hard effort. It wasn't like I was just cruising along. I was actually pushing the bike quite hard all of the way, but obviously with the motor's assistance, it made it a lot easier.
All right.
Now, I was a little disappointed that we only managed 2 people in the race. If I hadn't have done it and con Kevin into it,
well,
there wouldn't have been any e-bikes in the race, and that sort of makes it easy for them, the organisers, to say, well, there's no interest in it and let's not have an e-bike category. So I'm hoping for the next race that we can rustle up a few more numbers, and if you get 5 or 6, it makes a bit of a field, and it makes it a bit more interesting. I kind of knew from this point, and no disrespect to Kev, but I charged off and left him behind at the line, and he wasn't that far behind me, but I knew I could always keep him behind me, and so basically I knew I had the win pretty much off the line. What I did decide though is I decided to go and see how many people I could overtake during the 3 laps, and that was quite fun in itself. Alright, so here comes round for the end of lap number 1. There were about 6 kilometre laps, and you had to do 3 of them for the e-bike category. I think the open was 4 laps, and the masters categories was 3 laps as well.
Single speed. Now you're just trying to punish yourself.
Now certainly you can see on sections like this, the e-bike is actually very similar speed along the flat bits. It doesn't really give you a big advantage. This course was quite suited to e-bikes in that basically you were either climbing or descending, and that's when e-bikes really excel. They actually are pretty rubbish, I think, on the flat because they rapidly top out at what is 30-31 kilometers an hour, but uphill you're absolutely killing it, and then downhill of course you're using gravity, so it doesn't matter, and you've got that weight which keeps up your momentum. So this track was really well suited to it. I did do a lot of passing, passed a lot of the guys in the open, and then went into lapping people who had done the masters and things, who were technically behind me to start with. I believe there is another race in May in Hanua, and quite looking forward to that. I haven't ridden in Hanua for a long time, but that's a really cool place to go for a ride. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking like, well, I could beat Lance, anyone could beat Lance, why don't you turn up at Hanua and yeah, make a race of it. And even if you think, well, you couldn't beat Lance, it doesn't matter, it's all about partaking. And as I say, if you we only need one more and we'd have a full podium anyway. Alright, and that is the end of lap number 2.
How's it going, man?
I wasn't quite sure what the etiquette was passing. Most of the time it really wasn't an issue. It was so wide, the track and the gravel road, that there was ample room to go past. If it was quite tight, I just sort of sat in behind the person and waited until they had space to let me through. The good thing was, as I say, I didn't have anybody who repassed me. I think if I was doing a cross-country race and an e-bike passed me and then I had to get past them down the hill again, that would probably annoy me. But that didn't happen. I was determined that if I went past anyone, they were never coming past me again. Just look at the speed differential though, it's ridiculous. You did feel a bit crazy just how fast you were going up these hills. And these guys, you know, these guys are lycra clad athletes who don't have bear guts like me. And yet it was quite cool just to be flying on past them all. I shouldn't really take pleasure in flying past people who are slogging it out without a motor, but somehow it was great fun.
Okay, on your right, cheers.
Now, if you're thinking the lens, Lance, why you haven't wiped the lens is water on it. Well, that water is actually sweat. I've got a chest mount on today, didn't fancy the chin mount on the full face, and that is sweat. So I've actually been working, and here's the finish, and that's me done.
Lance, this one.
So how does it feel, second Auckland champs?
Very good, thank you, Lance. Very good.
So the question I got for you guys is, what do you guys think of an e-bike circulating around in the same field?
Couldn't see it. I was really scared when I heard it coming up behind me because I thought it was these two. Nah, it's e-bike, we're all good.
Yeah. No issues, no concerns, no?
They're great.
Yeah. No, all right, that's good to know. Well, that was the Auckland champs, the first e-bike category. It was a big category, me and Kev, but we took the top two spots on the podium.
Me and my mate.
Yeah, that's the one. So if you like the video, click about here somewhere to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.